How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. Jack is not here. He is just couldn't make this one. It's fine. We got Chibi and Brad. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Samurai Champloo. This is probably Shinichiro Watanabe's best or second best anime next to Cowboy Bebop. I mean, some people have conversations about it, and also because I was watching Lazarus, the new anime that's on HBO Max. I guess it's a part of like Adult Swim too. I don't know if like Adult Swim actually exists in any form. I just know it's on Max, and I felt like the use of music, action choreography, all that stuff reminded me of like Champloo and Cowboy Bebop. It's been fantastic. So I suggested to everyone that we go back, we watch the episodes. I found out that Chibi's watched it before, didn't finish all the way through when she was younger. This is Brad's first time watching. It was going to be Jack's first time watching too, but the nature
of it was terrible.
The nature of Shinichiro Watanabe animes from Cowboy Bebop, basically it's episodic format with a number of like different kind of narrative strings that kind of keep the episodes cohesive, with the exception of like a couple that just kind of go way out there. But we'll talk about that. So let's start with Chibi. Chibi, what'd you think? How do you think it's held up? Because this came out in like 2005. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's been a long time.
20 years ago.
I can definitely see why people really gravitated towards it, because I think we've had this discussion before about like how like anime is almost kind of like saturated nowadays. Like there's so many new, seasons that come out, new animes that drop, and like back then, what did you only have like a couple of handful, right?
I want to say like at the time before it became like really popular, we were getting like 3 or 4. It was just before like major shonen started to make its way like west. I don't even know when Naruto came out, but I remember people started losing their shit when that came out. Like, have you seen it? It's like Dragon Ball Z but with ninjas, and I'm like, cool. That's how we describe stuff back then, dude.
Yeah. But no, I could see definitely why it was really like really popular. For me, I really like the music, and then the little like just the back and forth,
the fusion stuff.
Yeah, I thought was really dope. And like I like the episodic. Like I think it's cool. Like you have an overarching plot. But at the same time, it's very like day to day, like them just kind of traveling, encountering different weird scenarios. How do they get through it? It's a little redundant where, we have a problem, it gets solved, homegirl gets kidnapped or in a brothel or something.
Flavor of the week,
Yeah. But I mean, I could definitely see like the fun in it. So overall, I enjoyed it. I like the characters a lot. I always love how they're starving in like every episode, and that's how all of their problems begin.
Basically, they're basically like really bad with money or really unlucky. So
I think it's a little combination of both.
It is. Brad, what did you think first time watching? Give me like your issues with it, because you're probably like, why is the music? Why is it not traditional Japanese music?
No, I thought it was pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. I kind of checked out a lot of the episodes. It became background noise. Like I started playing on my phone or whatever. Like it was cool. It reminded me a lot of the old Trigun. It was just like the first 8 episodes were just random adventures of these people.
With bash and stuff like that. You're like,
who is that? Didn't really like it was just a daily or a weekly episode of what they're doing. It really didn't. There really wasn't a story. I only watched 10 or 12 episodes. I'm not sure exactly where I stopped at, but like they're looking for the sunflower samurai. But it's like that's it. That's the story to that point. They're just going from city to city trying to not starve. And somehow she gets kidnapped in every city that they go to. There's a lot of like human trafficking everywhere.
A lot of bad stuff in this area, dude. A lot of like wandering swordsmen who are evil.
But I feel like isn't that very like on par with how it was?
Yeah, I mean, basically that's actually a good point, because like, in Japan, like at the time, I think this is, I can't remember what year this is set in. Is this Edo? I don't remember. I don't remember what period, but if it is, like, that's like the warring state. So stuff was like starting to like, stuff was still very much, separated from one another. So every region pretty much had their own lord, and they were all like just fighting each other. I mean, dude, he's like Jin just straight up killed like 3 vassal swordsmen. Like for the Lord in the first episode, and they pretty much slaughtered that Lord and then almost all of their men, right? Leaving it into like just complete panic and stuff like that. But no, yeah, it's interesting because once you get past episode 12, which is I think the recap episode, which they do in a really interesting way because it's like, I think it's narrated by Monzo, the Saw, which is
oh, I love that guy.
That dude is so stupid.
He's so funny to me.
The first time I saw him, I was like, what is Monzo doing? Like the entire time, just kind of watching and then making all these weird ass quips. But after that,
jumping out of the barrel.
After that, they really start going into like old arcs that take stuff that happened from the first 11 episodes to actually catch up to them. So all their actions and activities eventually catch up to them, and then it turns out that the government's searching for them because of like all the stuff that they've been doing. And the Sunflower Samurai is I'm just gonna spoil the shit, man. It's been fucking 20 years, guys. That's Fu's dad, and he is a Christian. So back in like the Edo period,
like religious.
Yeah, Christians were persecuted heavily, right? The Portuguese came over, and they tried to like, bring Christianity over. That did not go well. A number of the like vassal states did not like, and they really hunted them down. So a lot of religious persecution, and basically that's like her last memory of her dad was like essentially kind of pushing her and her mom away, and then that was the hunt. So when they actually find him, it turns out that like all that ruckus and shit that they've been making, all that stupidity, caught the government's eye. So like they did a bunch of dumb shit, and the government's like, we need to kill both of them. So
oh my God.
Basically what happens that like every major fight they go into, like they're capable, right? But then they start fighting like people who are like absolutely like demonic in terms of like how they fight. Like one lady, she's blind, she's a blind shamisen player, and she beats the shit out of both of them. Nearly kills both of them. Yeah. Damn. It's called I think it's like episode 20, the Elegy of Entrapment. Let me see, hold on. Yeah, 20 and 21. And then it starts to like kind of just go from there. It was really interesting how they did it because Brad is 100% right. It is essentially Trigun flavor. The first 2 episodes where it's like Vash is cool. I don't know what Millie does. There's a tall lady. And then it's like, who the fuck is Knives? Like, why is Knives so scary? That's kind of what happens here. But they still throw in like the really funny. There's a whole baseball episode, and I honestly think I have to look this up. This might be one of the first like random filler episodes where they do like they mesh history, where they have they talk about the Black Ship Festival, and it's the Americans versus the Japanese in a baseball game. And the Americans are rigging the game, so they like essentially kill basically everyone who's on the baseball team. I think like Jin gets. I think it's Mugen. So like Mugen took a broken bat, and essentially when the pitcher threw it, he hits the ball, and then the ball it splinters off, so it hits the dude in the fucking chest. I was like, they essentially kill it. It's a really funny episode. Monzo like he keeps narrating the entire episode.
Great, I love it.
But yeah, but basically it's like the entire show is the most simplest plot. It's like, here's your objective, and then I want to see the adventures that go to it. But Brad is completely right. Like a lot of 90s animes did this, where it's like, what's the ultimate goal? Well, how about we show that in the second half of the season while we world build the entire time? So I agree. Brad, who's your favorite character? Out of the 3, Mugen, Jin, or Fu? Which one did you like the most?
He says, I hate
Is it going to be Steven Bloom? Because the voice of Adult Swim?
I was going to say, like, so that when the very first episode, when Mugen spoke, I was like, that's Tom from Toonami. Like, that's who that is.
That's the problem. What game did we play recently, dude? Where it was Matt Mercer, and we just like, damn it. It was something where I told Brad, and Brad goes, "That's Matt Mercer," and he just like almost checked out. I was like, "Dude, what the?"
Yeah, there was that. So that I had to look him up. That dude has voiced everything. He's had like 800 credits in the last 30 years. That dude is insane.
I honestly think like he's the, because I think Vic Bignoma before when he voiced Edward Elric, I think like Steven Bloom was that guy. He did everything in the 90s. So he did Cowboy Bebop in 98. And then, like, I guess because his voice is so identifiable, raspy and, like, deep, he voiced everything in the 2000s, dude. Like, it wasn't like it was kind of like Nolan North from Uncharted, where it's like you're waiting for him to show up in the game. Same thing with like Steven Bloom. Like he played Wolverine. I think he played in the animated series in almost every single game. I think with the exception of Deadpool. I don't know if he actually played Wolverine and Deadpool, but he was in everything. Like it's like 800 credits is insane. But yeah,
896 credits.
It's not
four,
just yeah,
4 upcoming, and his first one was in 1979 or something.
What was it? Was it an actual live action or is
let me verify that. 1978, and it was Lupin the Third.
He did Lupin. He did the English double Lupin. Jesus,
the old shamanist.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so like back like literally back in the day, it was Steven Bloom, and then like I don't know anybody else. And yeah, it's Tom from Toonami, dude. I was like, is that Tom? Yeah. But that's how I watched Samurai Champloo. Like it was on Toonami. It was on not Toonami. It was on Adult Swim because this one was like kind of bloody, right? Mm-hmm. And then eventually I was like, holy shit, this is a messed up show. Who is it, Brad? Who's your favorite? Was it Mugen? Is it the boy? Is it Jin
I do
because
like
he has
Jin.
Glasses?
Yeah, so I do like Jin just because he's just like a smart person. You know, Mugen's just like if you talk to me the wrong way, I'm going to fight you regardless. He is really cool. I do like his like
fighting style.
His like dance fight style. I mean, you know, it's animalistic. I don't know.
It's super sloppy, right? You're like it's very chaotic considering like Ronin and swordsman at the time. Bushido is very disciplined. And then you have a dude who's like throwing rocks and like kicking at you and shit the entire time. Chibi, what about you?
I liked all three, but I think for me the most interesting was Fu. Even though honestly, high key, she was so annoying. You got something to say, bruh? Something to say? Go ahead and say it.
Nope.
No, but I mean, she was like annoying, but at the same time, I really liked her character. I don't know. I like the little quirks they gave her about like her fucking eating in the competition, like the food competition, and just having just like an iron gut. Like I loved that. I thought that was so funny.
I do like that episode. That was a great episode.
That is a good episode.
That's the thing is that like they, you know, it's like historically accurate because it talked about the Dutch, right, coming to America. Like that was actually a real thing that happened during that time frame.
Did the Dutch really give the Japanese sunflowers? Is that canon?
Yeah, that's not native to Japan. Same thing with like the Artistic Anarchy, where like she gets like kidnapped by an actual ukiyo. Ukiyo artist. That's a real artist. Like he actually, that was the funniest thing. My favorite part is like when she sees the picture and Monto's like, oh no, she's like, she gave me great hooters. It's like it's just the best part. But like, I can't remember. Monzo was doing something. I can't remember the episode, but it looked like he was like, he's like trying to work out, but it looked like he was grinding something in the corner looking at like an ukiyo head painting, but instead it was like him like actually working out with his baton. I was like, this fucking dude is so awkward, man. But yeah, no, like there's a lot of these episodes. It was interesting because like I remember when I was a kid, I was thinking like, or when I was 18 when this came out? No, it was 2004, 2005, so I was 20. No, I was 18. Holy shit. So like when this came out, I was like interested in seeing like how true a lot of this was, because you know it can be completely distorted and just like made up. No, a lot of this is like historically accurate things that happened. They just meshed it in. So like these characters were a part of all these things.
Love that.
I think my favorite one of the first 12 is the was it Beatbox Bandits, where they try to cross the border and they get high. Oh. I fucking loved, dude. When I first watched it, I was like, what is happening? Because I like the fact that the Border Patrol guy, like he's actually a talented, like he's not just like a nerd because he's, you know, because of the way he looks at that top knot, but he actually is like kind of skilled in infiltration until he gets caught. And I love the fact that at the end, like Fu's given like that impassioned plea, right? Where she's like, no, he's going to show up, and then off in the distance, it's just some fun runner. And she's like,
and he was like, I'm just trying to like,
I just want to stay healthy.
Oh yeah, something like that. And she's like,
when he says that was the best thing ever. I'm just trying to stay healthy. And she just like has that look on her face. And then they're like, well, time to die. And they fucking immediately crucified them and shit. And then tried to kill them. And then they're like, I think it was opium, right? That was not weed.
Yeah.
That was opium.
Yeah, it's probably opium. I don't know,
That,
some purple gas.
I love
It
that.
happens.
That probably had my favorite animation like switch too, when like
Yeah.
Mugen was trying to fight the last guy, the head of it, and then like he like swung. He's like, "What's going on?" And it just like distorted everything around him, and they're all like hanging out, and like Fu and Jin find them, and he's fucking furious.
Oh
That
my
shit,
god, yeah.
that shit was
That was
amazing.
good. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, like like they just like Trigun too, just like other anime at the time. They go from like really funny to like really serious stuff, like Gamblers and Gallantry, where like they're trying to save that one woman and get her back to that. I think it's that. Jin tries to save her for she's a prostitute. He saves her and then he
Oh
sends
yeah,
her
and
off to
then
the
he like
island.
falls in love with her. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's like a ton of stuff like that. Like it's just
It's kind of dark.
it's a great mix, which I swear if someone watched it today who had never watched like Samurai Champloo, like, dude, what is this about? And you're just like, dude, Sunflower Samurai, just
About the
it's an
journey,
adventure.
bro.
There's
Not the destination.
I think my favorite one that's like random is called Bogus Booty, right? That's what the episode's called. And basically what happens is like there is a ninja, like in the very beginning, he's being chased by other government officials. He throws this bag of money. I think it's counterfeit gold. And as so the intro goes, like Jin is fishing and Mugen and Fu are sitting around this campfire, but they have all their fish. But Jin is so stubborn, he wants to catch his own fish. And like Mugen makes fun of him and shit talks him, and then fucking Jin throws his fucking rod and then dives in to try to catch fish, but he fails. So then they find the money, but he finds the money, and they're like, "Holy crap, we're rich!" So they go into the city, into the red light district, and they eat, and it's like this really fun like where I think Fu eats and she becomes like super fat, and like Mugen's like, "How did this happen to you? Like, what is going on?" And as it goes through, like it's really funny that Brad, you brought up like, oh, Jin's disciplined. I'm like, dude, he's a huge perv. Like he really is, because he gets into the brothel and like they have like these two really ugly looking prostitutes, and then it's like this really attractive one. She happens to be like a ninja, and so like they actually like fake sword fight each other. Mugen wins, right? So Mugen's like, you two can go with my friend. You come with me. And so she ends up like beating it's really funny because like they end up foiling this entire counterfeit gold plot because Mugen's really horny, and because he wants to get laid so bad, she keeps telling him all these things he's gonna do. He's like, absolutely, and he beats the shit out of these like three guys. He's like, where's my nookie? And he like launches the dude out a window.
Where's my nookie?
And he's like, it's like, nah, we're not doing this anymore. You haven't let me do anything. And she like leans into him. He's like, oh yeah? And he drops all the way down this shaft and then ends up beating everyone's ass. It's the most random episode. It was great because it was like they actually brought that up, like, where do we go next? I'm like, we'll just move forward up the woods somewhere else. And then immediately afterwards, it's like a more serious like 2-episode arc. And then it goes to another area where like Mugen learns how to read. That's the entire episode.
Oh, I loved that with episode 12 where he was like, like opening out her diary, and then Jin's like, what? And he goes, I can't read.
I can't read. So that gets changed in episode 18's called War of the Words, and like he learns how to read because that's when Fu finds out that he's illiterate. Because they go and look at the menu and he's like,
Oh.
And so this dude gets upset, like he's an actual teacher. He gets pissed off. He's like, listen, come here. And he's like forces Mugen to read. But the way it goes that Jin finds two of his former disciples who are like they're like the heads of this gang. And basically they're the heads of the gang, but all they do is they do graffiti, right? So but Mugen tries to learn basically by doing graffiti. So at the end when they scale this tower because they're doing it for Fu's love and affection, which never happens, they end up scaling it, but Mugen gets there first, and I think he just puts up the infinity symbol. He's like, yeah, and like the dude's like, what the fuck just happened with Mugen, dude? He has the most random like shit that happens to him every time. Like the dude learns how to use his key. Like when he's fighting that one like serial killer, it's just like the most random shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think if you ever get down to rewatch or watching the last 12 or last 13, the like final arc, the last 3 episodes is phenomenal. Like there's
Okay.
a bunch of stuff that it mentions, and they introduce a character, like they introduce like one of the government samurai who comes across, and his nickname is the right hand of God. And he fucks Mugen and Jin up in like the worst way. And then like a lot of Mugen's past once again comes back to haunt him, just like it did in I think what episodes was that? Was it Misguided Miscreants? Where you find out that's like episode 13, 14. Where you got so like it's interesting because like they end up going like deeper into like every one of their backstories, and this show only works if the 3 characters are interesting and they have good chemistry, right? That's basically how it is. Because otherwise, like Trigun, if Vash the Stampede was not interesting, you're not really gonna watch it. I think same thing with the Cowboy Bebop. If the crew of the Bebop weren't interesting, same stuff. So I really feel like that's how you kind of navigated a simple plot, but you added complexity through the episodes and stuff like that. Like I can totally see why people would get confused when you watch it, right? And then it's just like that blend of music. Like I don't know what to tell you guys. Like the Shinichiro Watanabe does not use kind of the same type of music in every show he does. So
yes, it's like a different theme, right?
Cowboy Bebop is jazz. Like it's hip hop, but it's like blended. Like there's still a lot of jazz in it too. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. I definitely see both.
I love the ending song, like the ending OP. That shit is amazing, and still holds up today, which is surprising. It's just like for some reason my brain keeps going back to like what's the Inuyasha ending, Chibi? You know what I'm talking about? Where like so like that I kept thinking about that because I was like, did that wake me up when I was a kid? It did randomly because I would have like Adult Swim on, and then randomly Inuyasha would end, and it's like screaming at me. I'm like,
I saw so many memes about that song would start playing, and people would be like, like just transported back to waking up in the middle of the night.
Like because Adult Swim would do I think the first 2 hours were new episodes. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the first hour was like new episodes, and then would do reruns the entire time. And then that was like Toonami Adult Swim. I think I remember because I remember Dragon Ball Z would not change. Dragon Ball Z in America did not change for a very long time. Like it just kept with Frieza, and I was like, when does the next arc happen? I had to watch that in Spanish. But yeah, no, I love Samurai Champloo. I love everything about it. I was kind of concerned that I was like, I wonder if there's anything problematic that wouldn't hold up today. No. It was kind of a clean anime, which was very surprising. And I still love like the hand-drawn stuff. Like I love how snappy some of the fights are, especially in the first episode when you first see Mugen and Jin duel. It's a very fun duel. And then of course, they burn the place down and Mugen thinks it's cool. Damn, that's cold.
Bro, Mugen got some issues. He got some issues.
Like I was literally because I've watched the show so many times. I was like repeating lines as I heard cues and stuff like that. And I was like,
I'm ready.
I remember that shit.
You're like, I already know it.
Brad, what was your favorite episode of the first 12 or first 11?
What do you can remember?
Can you remember? If I asked Jack would have the wiki up.
I mean, I have the wiki up too, but it was honestly just to have names up. I don't know the Dutch episode where they're
steal my answer.
where they do the
Stranger
the eating contest.
Yeah,
where they do the eating contest, and then they give him the tour, and he falls in love with the with the
the actor
big guy show.
Yeah. I loved that.
He's like,
Fu's
like, you know who that is, right?
So that's a guy.
He's like,
better.
Yeah.
Better that way.
Nice.
I was like, you do you, man.
Dude.
He's like, I wanted to be a real Japanese.
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, this man was the OG fucking whitewashed weed, bro.
I mean, he's 6. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", probably.
Bro was
right?
towering over them. Yeah.
Like, you have blue eyes and red hair.
Yeah.
You have an accent.
Oh, if you know that, but you don't look like any of these people. Brother, you are tall and you're wearing like they're wasn't their hats different too? I think, right?
Yeah, and his shoes.
Yeah, you got clogs on, big dog.
Now shoes.
You got clogs on, big dog. Like everyone looks at you like you're some freak. Have you not played Assassin's Creed Shadows? They were looking at Yasuke all weird. I was kind of surprised though that it held up so well. It's kind of like going back to watch like the original Full Metal Alchemist, not Brotherhood.
I refuse to do it. Don't ever make me do it.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I swear when I was watching Lazarus, like, the only reason I could tell it was Shinichiro Watanabe, I was like, one, the character designs. Like, everyone looks thin. Everyone's thin. And
Logan
then,
had like the tiniest, skinniest little chicken legs.
yeah, which was so weird. For a dude that did that much, like,
Yeah,
capoeira,
like
like, I was
running
like,
around.
how are you so thin, bro? How is
Mhm.
that possible?
How you kicking people like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because, like, I think my other favorite thing is the facial expressions in this show.
Yeah.
They're so random. Like, they exaggerate the way like Mugen looks a lot, especially in like later episodes where he just looks stupid. And like there's an episode, the most off the cuff one too. It's a cosmic collision. So like literally they're traveling in the mountains and they're eating like these wild mushrooms and they end up getting like
Oh
sick.
no.
But they get conscripted to like go at this meteorite site where like this group is like digging for treasure and stuff, and it turns out that these people are like zombies where they've been alive for
Oh.
like 500 years because they've been eating I can't remember what it was. I think it's like edamame or some shit. Like
Fuck?
they were eating it, but it was like keeping them alive because like when they were going through the site they had noticed that like people's arms were falling off and shit, but everyone's just like hanging out doing stuff, right? And then they asked him, dude, what are you looking for this treasure for? And then he brought up like the Genji clan, and they're like, dude, what year do you think it is? Because it's been 500 years, and he's like,
Oh,
that's impossible. And so the entire like it was really funny because the entire mining group they turn on him, but another meteorite hits. It's the most random shit, dude. It makes no sense. That's how the episode ends, and then you go into the baseball episode, which is it's
I
like.
think-
Because basically what happened, it's really funny because when you get into like episode 13, or no, actually I think it's like 15 when they do like the bogus booty episode. The very beginning is like charting where they go, like all across Japan, right? And then eventually like it talks about how they finally reached their destination, but just before the major last 3 episodes, let's put in 2 random ass like a meteorite episode and a baseball episode because we
That's what I
haven't
was
had
gonna
one of
ask you,
those.
like where it's at. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, it's literally at the end. Like if they, I really feel like I don't know if you've ever seen Space Dandy. Have you ever heard that show?
Mm-mm.
Space Dandy is like it wasn't made. So I think it's one of the rare ones where Shinichiro Watanabe adapted it or helped adapt it,
Mm-hmm.
and it features like some of the best music and the most random shit happening. There's like no real connection. Like even in the first and second season, it's just random characters, really fucking funny. Um, they do have like not I would say like soft moments where it's like really sweet and romantic and stuff like that. But like the way they handle it is like it's just the way he utilizes music to kind of like help set the mood in the story. It's
Mm-hmm.
really well done. And I've noticed that that's how he does like almost every major episode. Like sometimes the music will just come in and then in Misguided Miscreants there's a part where it looks like Mugen's gonna kill this girl. Like and the music is so loud and it's like thumping back and forth, right? So it feels like there's like a moment where he's just gonna kill
Mm-hmm.
her, but instead it's just like he walks past her and the episode ends. So
Oh.
it's like an ambiguous thing. It's like it's so well done.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like
why
well executed.
yeah, that's why like I love everything Shinichiro Watanabe does. Same thing with like Cowboy Bebop, right? The music added with all the cool shit happening all works out. I'm just shocked that like because I think at the time like this was when anime was starting to get super popular in the West,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had Naruto, which I think '03, right? Because everyone was like, you
I
guys,
was a mere child.
let me see what it came out. Naruto came out 2002. Damn. Wait. Yeah. So it came out 2002. So
I
I mean,
watched
what's
I
up?
watched a lot of I watched a lot of Naruto with Korean subtitles, so I just guessed at a lot of that.
Is that Rock Lee? He's fighting somebody. But no, like it was one of those things where I think like because I didn't watch much outside of Dragon Ball Z and probably Detective Conan. Yeah, I watched a lot of Case Close when I was a kid because that was a dope ass show. There wasn't a lot of shonen that came out. Like most of the time, it was like limited series stuff. It was Trigun, it was Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo. Like they didn't have like I that's what I thought anime was going to be. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about One Piece. Swear I didn't know that had been running since like 96, 97. I think Pokemon became popular, and
Is
then
that shit older than me?
One Piece. Yeah, I think I could have sworn One Piece ran like in the 90s. Let me see. Yeah, 97. I was 10 when that came out. I was a young man.
I was just born.
But
I was
like,
5.
but I don't think One Piece. I have to look up when One Piece hit the States. I don't know when that was. Yeah, it didn't come out English until like November. Hold on. It doesn't really say. Let me see. No, show me the One Piece episodes. Don't show me this other bullshit.
Thundercats.
Thundercats. Is Thundercats? It's not Japanese.
Didn't it just come out?
Thundercats? That's like an
I was
80s
looking-
no.
episode.
I'm thinking of
Thundercats.
Thunderbolts.
thinking of something different.
No, so One Piece was 1999. I think, but I don't think it. Let me see when it shows up English, because like I know it was like it was 2004 when they started broadcasting in English. That's a long ass time, dude. That's all I thought anime was going to be, though, was like limited series and, you know, stories that would go certain places. And then randomly it was like people were talking about Naruto. I'd show up on the boat on a deployment and people are trying to pass around like the first volume of Naruto, which I think the DVD set was like 8 DVDs. But I was like introducing them to like Cowboy Bebop. I'm like, here, you guys want to watch real anime?
Damn, here's some real shit.
I would go to like Suncoast DVD, which I don't think Suncoast exists anymore.
Never
but I would go to
it.
Sun. God damn. Okay. Anyway, yes. Suncoast is where they were like you could buy Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS, all that stuff like that. But like it was
So kind of like Blockbuster.
no. Blockbuster was renting. So Blockbuster, Hollywood Video was rental. You could buy like you couldn't buy. I don't remember people buying movies back in the day when I was younger. But I do remember like I'd go to Suncoast and it was like they'd have sales all the time, and like and like anime you'd buy like a box set for like $25-30.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But that's what I would do. I'd buy like a box set. I'd be like, oh, Samurai Champloo's out on fucking DVD. Buy that, and I would just pass it around. People were like,
like a drug dealer.
Now that you've seen that, let's watch Naruto. I didn't meet anyone who actually watched One Piece until like later.
Yeah.
I didn't know how popular One Piece was until like later in life. It was always like, Ken, do you have Full Metal Alchemist? I'm like, here, my son.
Take it.
Do you have Hellsing? Do you have Vampire Hunter D? Like all that type of stuff. I'd always been like older movies and stuff in. People were like, what is this shit? And then eventually it was like Samurai, because when I showed my friend Samurai Champloo, he was like, oh, this is fantastic. I love the music, dude. He's like, have you watched Naruto? And I was like, no. I was like, does it go anywhere? Because there's a lot of the first like I think that my favorite arc early on was the Chunin arc, right? Where Rock Lee fights Gaara, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Yeah.
This is fantastic. But I didn't think it's kind of weird going back watching like some older anime. How much? Which one? It's weird to see how well some of them have actually
like held up.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping like, you know, because we live in a time where it's like 3D, a lot of CG. Like, and I did go back to watch Trigun, Brad, to kind of see like people's complaints against the new Trigun. I was like, I get it, you know. I mean, the CG can be kind of distracting, but yeah, there's something like just charming as fuck about like hand-drawn animation, and I feel like
so it took a while for the new CGI to grow on me, but it might be one of my favorite.
It's so
by the end of it, it looked so good. It was so well done.
I think it was 6 years to actually develop it. And I wonder if that was just because they had to like get the techniques down, because like a lot of shows aren't like the ones that are fully CG are terrible. Like if you go watch Berserk from I want to say the early 90s or late 90s to the CG bullshit that came out like a couple years ago, it's rough. Like it was like one of the worst like adaptations. And I just think like we've gotten to a point where like I understand like the costs are probably cheaper, but I really love the fact that Samurai Champloo was like hand drawn. A lot of it was like the animations were fantastic. It was charming. It was snappy. It like evoked like old Japanese films that I used to watch, like Seven Samurai, that type of stuff. I was like, this is really good. And then the music was just fantastic. I was skeptical at first because I was like, I lived in Japan during the time when this was being developed. And I remember when hip hop was starting to become big in Japan, and I was like, that shit was not great. Like, not at first. And I was like, you know what? This actually works out well, especially in a lot of the action scenes, especially in like some of the dialogue scenes. I was like, this is surprisingly well implemented. Shocking. All right, man. I really wish Jack was here, Chibi. I really wanted him to watch this.
I was saying, we could have.
Nah, knowing Jack, he'd have been like, yeah, anime. Because
would have, liked his opinion.
No, I would have loved Jack's opinion on this, man. But like, he'll literally. I swear to God, it's really funny because like I know he doesn't think he has anything to contribute when we talk about some of these shows. But I'm like, dude, it's an older show. Like, sometimes it like resonates with people.
And he's old, so it works.
I'm old too, man. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, like it's really fun going back to watching like older anime with kind of a new set of eyes and seeing like how it handles. Like I said, Lazarus, it's really good, and I don't think Shinichiro Watanabe's made an anime since like 2020 or something like that. But everything he's done is unique. So you have sci-fi, kind of a sci-fi western in Cowboy Bebop, and then you have this hip hop fusion samurai, and Samurai Champloo. Then you have like Kids on a Slope, which is I think post World War II or before or pre World War II Japan, but a lot of good music there. Terror in Resonance, which is like a fucking like an insanely I don't know why he thought I don't know how he came up with it, but it's a very dark.
I was gonna say, are you the one that always talks about that? It sounds so familiar.
I love Terror in Resonance, but it is messed up. It's a very dark show, and
I feel like you've mentioned it a couple times.
You essentially follow you follow the bad
Sorry.
guys.
Okay. I was gonna say I've actually seen the cover art for it.
Love Terror in Resonance.
Okay.
And then Space Dandy, which is such a wacky, like just kind of a nonchalant, funny episode. And then I can't remember the other one. It was there was another music one he did, and then it was Lazarus. So everyone got really hyped up, like especially
Carol and Tuesday.
Yeah, Carol and Tuesday. And then thank you, Brad. Look at you.
I pulled up the IMDb.
There you go. IMDb contributing. And then Lazarus, which like if you guys still haven't watched it, I've seen like a lot of positive reviews. I do think I think I saw IGN's review, and IGN is just like they've fallen the fuck off really bad. Like whoever like does their reviews for shows and anime, they're like the most negative people. They're like, well, it feels so disconnected. I'm like, no, it feels like a Shinichiro Watanabe fucking product, dude. That's how he does shit, bro. He doesn't do like this time. There's actually a connection. Like they're trying to find a guy within 30 days, or everyone on the planet pretty much dies, right? But it's like they go on these adventures to find him. So you're not like it's not 30 straight days of this. I think it's like 12 episodes. So I'm assuming like every 3 or 4 days they do something, and it just takes them to random areas. But there is a connection. I just found it funny when I read the review the first time. I was like, what the fuck are you expecting, dude? Like, this guy gave JJK season 2 a 5, which was insane because I thought that the Kyoto arc was amazing. So, what are we watching? Who's up next? Is it Jack? Here's the deal. Because Jack's not here, he does not get a mulligan. He has to like legitimately. There are no mulligans anymore. There are no more mulligans. He picks one. He picks one and sticks with it. Anybody watch any other shows recently? Catching up on stuff?
I don't think I have.
I've been watching Fire Force.
Is it good?
Yeah. Who's that Kobe in the background?
Yes.
What was that laugh?
Sorry.
That was...
He's playing League.
Oh my god.
Oof, that's gross.
Yeah. That's been his fixation.
Play something better. Holy shit.
What he likes.
That's you choose him, I guess. That's your choice, I guess. I've been watching Fire Force season 3, Chibi. So I think like it's weird. I don't think the animation is as good as the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope that in the second half, because I think this is going to be 24 episodes, it gets better. But what is Bean doing?
He's about to yell. That's why I muted myself.
My favorite thing is watching him silently judge you in the background. He's like, "Do you not fucking see me right now?"
He's like, "Are you fucking ignoring me?"
Someone
Like,
put
he's
the
fine.
blanket on me because I'm sad.
I know. Let me put the blanket on him before he starts yelling again.
Brad, have you watched anything?
I have
recently?
like 5.
Oh, you have 5 blankets. Good lord.
No, not really. I've kind of been stuck on Expedition 33 and Oblivion.
Yes,
We can talk
I
about
did
that
watch
for a little bit. Right?
I
Let's talk.
watched a few episodes of something. I'm a guild receptionist. Something about soloing.
Which one is that one?
Something. Yeah, I don't.
it sounds
It's
very common.
yeah.
Which
It's
guild
like
which guild receptionist is it this time, Brad?
uh
By the way,
so
why is that? Can we like talk about this fascination for a second with like the and this is like my problem, Chibi, okay, with anime today. Like you mentioned before, it's become very saturated. So like you go from like watching like original series like Samurai Champloo, and you're just like, look, man, it's unique. It's totally different from things at the time, right? And then we dove into the isekai era, where anime is just like being thrown all over the place. And outside of a couple of isekai that I really, really enjoy, I enjoy Konosuba. Like, I love comedy. But I'm seeing, like, the same guild receptionist anime. I've seen it at least 4 times, I think, on Crunchyroll. I'll, like, put up new just to see what's up. And then I'm like, I've seen this before. This has to be the same thing. It's like, nope, this person wants to get off on time. So they're just, like, this demon fighter or some shit. I'm like, what's going on? How many are there right now? And why? And have you which one is this one about, Brad?
it's I think it's I'll fight my boss to get off on time. I think that's the name of the
Is the boss a
something.
demon?
Man.
I don't. I only watched like 2 episodes of it. I literally outside of this show because I watched over the last like I don't know 48 hours all
Right.
12 episodes. I really haven't watched anything else except for those 2
This
episodes.
man obsessed
Yeah.
over the guild isekai. I mean, the good news is Konosuba got a season 4, which is very surprising because I thought this season 3 was going to be the last one. So there's another isekai in the hat. It's probably, I'm not saying it's my least unfavorite genre, but it's the one I keep seeing everywhere.
See, I can't say anything because, like, for me, it's like I read a lot of manhwa, and the trope for like manhwa is like reincarnated like romance genre. Like, there's so
Gross.
fucking many,
I was
but I
gonna
eat it up.
talk so much shit when we started. This was like, see Chibi and Samurai Champloo, Jin and Mugen get hurt and potentially like end up in dire situations, but they pull it out after a bit of training, like they like like real like anime would, not like solo leveling where he's just like over fucking powered.
You are such a hater. Like, you're not gonna let this shit go, man.
I
You're
tried,
such
dude.
a
The
hater.
entire time I was like, how can I relate Samurai Champloo, this anime that came out in 04 to solo
Every
leveling?
anime, you're like, how can I relate this to just
Well, it's gonna be hard because if
it's up?
Jack picks like a titty anime, I can't.
The
I'm
three
unable to relate it because I don't think
Oh
I think
no.
the fan service for soul leveling is Jingwoo, right? It's no one else. Get those call outs in League of Legends, my guy.
I'm like yelling at him that he's so loud.
Close the door.
So fucking annoying.
That is great. I mean, listen, we all have our preferences, right? We all want to play League. Said nobody. I don't understand. I just want to watch Arcane. That's all. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch, or I don't want to play that game. I just want to watch the damn show.
TFT, bro. TFT.
I think so. It is. It is Jack next. Damn. Damn it.
Dang. Skip him. He wasn't here.
He. No. He'll
No.
be. I like. I do.
Right?
When he was like talking about Samurai Champloo and he was like how he couldn't follow the episodes, I started laughing. I was like, if Brad could put it in the background, have it as background noise, like you're full of shit, Jack. So I was like, I want Jack to choose. Like, I desperately want him to look up an anime, not look at the stars on Crunchyroll or whatever, and just pick a good show. That's it. I got nothing else on that. You know what I mean?
You're putting pressure on him. He's
There is no
scared.
pressure. He has a whole
Scared.
list. He has a whole list that he can pick from, and that's all I'm asking him to do. Just pick, like, if you think it's a good, if you've like been told, like, because Brad gets told by his buddy, here's a list of anime you should watch, and his buddy has really good taste. He's kind of a fucking snob like me.
It's
okay
really weird. It's really weird. He'll pull up
Get the buddy on.
he'll pull up the whole whatever the season is or the
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, watch this one, this one, skip that one, that one's hentai, that one, don't watch this one, don't watch this one, don't watch this one.
Don't watch this one with anyone around.
Watch it by yourself.
What are you doing?
In the dark.
Yeah, in the dark, please. one hand.
I hate you.
I just want Jack to choose an anime and be confident in it. But like I love the fact that the running gag on this fucking show is that Jack chooses an anime and he is not confident when he talks about it. The first
we
anime
also get one episode in and we're like,
the first anime we ever watched that he chose, he straight up tells us it's not in my top 20. So why the fuck did you pick it?
Which one was that one again?
It was the one where like it was the kid God, it was so fucking forgettable, but he was like this country bumpkin who's like super OP. And
the
you know what I'm talking about?
the
Like,
village at the end of the
and I'm like, okay,
high level dungeon
and then because
something.
here's what me and Brad do, we're like, what the fuck do we like? What'd you think? And Brad goes, you know, he picked that one, that skeleton, teacher
Undead
one.
Unwanted.
Yeah, the undead one.
Yeah. Then
And
the
we were
ghoul
like,
school.
we're like, what the fuck did you sleep? What did you choose this for?
Interesting.
And he never like he just like I know what he wants to watch. I know he wants us to watch like Emissary in Darkness, and eventually we will watch that because it is very emo and cringe, and I understand.
Me and Brad will cry together.
It's really like an action anime, but it's
I'm gonna cry.
emo as hell, right?
I'm gonna cry.
I'm just trying to put people on like stuff that no one's heard of, like summertime rendering and stuff like that, because it's
I'm still, like iffy about that one, man. I don't know. I wanted to like it so bad, and I just could not vibe with it, which is so weird for me.
That's dark. There's another one I wanted to watch that came out on Hulu. It's a super. I don't want to probably put people through it because like it's parts of it are funny, and there's like this whole confusing like time lapse where like there's stuff you meet certain characters, but like they go through like a whole thing where they talk about their past and stuff like that, but they never like they're not subtle with it, right? It's like it's just they're in the past. Like you'll eventually get it, but it's very fucking dark. Like there's like a bunch of assault, some essay in it. Like it's very it does not pull punches. So
yeah,
I was like, I probably shouldn't pull this one up. Just you guys want to feel sad all the time? Brad, here you go. It's like, why did you make me watch this?
Why'd you make me extra sad?
But I mean, I do want to get back to like watching, you know, a movie again. Have like do like a watch party.
Yo, we should do like the sad ones, like I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, or like
you want to watch that together?
Yeah, and cry together, bro.
Brad wouldn't watch it. Brad would crack jokes the entire time to make himself feel better.
But it's so good,
though. I probably would.
I think he would like it. Like the plot twist is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, really, really well done. I just want. I'm trying to get something for like. I just want Jack to choose an anime that he likes. Right.
All right, tell him right now. Type it to him right now.
Yeah, well, Brad, can you type to him? Just tell him like,
Jack,
hey man,
choose
an it's your turn. Choose an anime that you like because Brad's got like 3 or 4 at the docket.
I do have several.
Chibi, eventually we have to go and watch. What do we watch? It's like Dr. Stone. What else did you want us to watch? There's something.
That
else.
one's tough though. Like, I just don't.
I think Dr. Stone is fine because it's broken down into seasons, like the way its arcs roll.
Yeah, I just want it to be like really interesting. Like, unless it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's the thing about that one. Like,
and that's
it's
fine.
slower, but I think it's a really cool concept. I think I like the manga better because I feel like the anime's dragged out, but like it's a cool idea.
Yeah, we can like it's fine, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I have that one, and I have like a couple like other ones. You know, I'll eventually make us watch another romance one again.
Yeah, eventually I do want to do an episode on Expedition 33. Jack's not gonna play it. Like it doesn't matter.
Oh, dude, I'll fucking dive in there.
I was
Question: Do we have fuck? I forgot his name. The robot thing. Do we have him in the party? Is he OP?
who? Monoko?
Monoko.
Monoko's not a robot.
Okay, well he looks like one.
He's a gestural or a gestural.
Okay, I forget the name. Gestural
Yeah.
is he in the part? Do you have him in the party?
Yeah.
Should I put him in my party?
He's so like if you so here's the thing, and fuck it, if people like we've been obsessing over Expedition
Spoiler.
33, as everyone else does. No, there's no spoiler to it. When you eventually get Monoko, his fighting style is basically taking monster parts,
Yeah,
and then
infusing him and using them.
You then can use them as like his own his skills. So when you're fighting an enemy, in the top left of the health bar, there's going to be a symbol for Monoko. And that means if you fight this enemy, you can then, you kill it as long as Monoko's in the party with you when you fight, he'll then absorb the ability. Doesn't matter if he dies. That includes bosses. So there are some bosses that he can't absorb. And Monoko's pretty much, I keep Monoko in the reserve, like when I was at the end game stuff in case I fuck up, because like Monoko's ability to kind of like heal, he's the best like support character because he can heal, put shields on.
He can do every element, basically.
Every element. And then eventually when you get almighty abilities, like he can like single-handedly wipe enemies.
So yeah, he's actually one of my least favorite characters to use. Just because the like roulette wheel that he has, it's just hard to plan around. I like that's a little too much. That's why I don't like Lune. Or
That's surprising because this motherfucker plays RPGs and he's like, I love strategy.
It's just like I don't want to have to like count. Like I'm like, all right, if I use this ability, it like rotates the wheel this many times, and I'm like, all right, and I have to. But however, for some reason, he has a 4 AP move that just does max damage multiple times. I don't know. It's just
Is it the break attack where he turns into the stone guy and just starts swinging his body?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, I use that throughout the entirety, even in like end game stuff, because he'll do the most like break damage, and then he also has multiple abilities that break. I love Monoko.
It's ridiculous. I actually stopped using him. I'm literally just one shotting everything because he does 30,000 damage, and I'm like, okay, well,
yeah. When you get to the gradient like counters and gradient abilities, which is like the eventual supers or whatever, he has like some of the best ones. Like his are varied too. Like they're not just like flat out attacks. Like some of my issues with like some of them, like I feel like CL, she requires the most setup of any character. Like you have to like legitimately like put cards on him and then fucking do dark damage. Do cards again so like you maintain damage, and then afterwards you just keep doing damage. You should have like wait, did you get past?
I do have her.
Yeah. You got past Act 1. Right? So you do have her. You do have her. But
I love a good scythe user.
Got the double scythe, yeah,
it's so fucking
so
cool.
like I was telling Brad, like because eventually like one of the cool things about this game is that when you go out into the overworld and you fight some of the overworld enemies, the first time you fight them, they can get you new weapons or level up your weapons.
I really wish they had explained that a little bit.
They didn't explain any of that shit, dude.
It feels completely random as
they're just
start
like
leveling stuff up.
Fight these motherfuckers, bro. It's like, okay.
I just realized I could level up my weapons. Like I never knew where. I had to Google that shit, and I was like, oh.
So I didn't level up for a long time because I knew it was going to level up at some point. I was like, when does the level up happen?
You need to. So my hint is you need to go to camp constantly, talk to people, right?
Yeah,
in camp.
level up there.
Yep. Do that constantly. Talk
Persona.
talk to SK. Make sure you do that as well. Because it helps also unlock side quests and stuff like that that are very important. It'll get you weapons and abilities, and then constantly like upgrade your pictos. And the other thing is like when you get a picto the first time, whoever has it on them, everyone can now go into like their Lacrima to like actually just assign abilities to it. So it doesn't have to be that picto does not have to be physically assigned. You don't have to drop off and then physically assign it to every character. You know what I'm talking about? Like those special ability cards that you guys get, right? That's like, hey, this does double damage on this. So, Chibi, do you not know that you have like Lacrima? It's that blue symbol in your menu where it talks about like how many points you have.
You can assign abilities to people.
Yeah, you can assign abilities to people, and it helps optimize your characters. One of the things I learned while playing was like, she didn't know. That's why, dude, not many people do. It's really fucking hard. They do not go over that part.
It's so funny you say that because today I was playing and then I saw a pop-up being like, some like, oh,
this leveled up to
like,
5 or 6.
Yeah,
You're like,
and I was like,
that
huh?
mean?
I literally was like, okay. It just
So like, we don't have, you don't have,
it up later and ask
you
about
don't
it.
have armor, right? But you have pictos, and then
Yeah.
you have like the ability to assign points if someone has already used that picto. So eventually you're going to get a picto.
That's crazy, bro.
You're eventually going to get a picto that allows you to break 9,999 damage. I thought everyone had to level it up, and I was like, this takes a long time to get to, and then I found out that everyone has access to it. So you can optimize damage the entire time.
Wait, when did you figure this out?
Who, me? Oh, late, dude.
Yeah.
I knew about
okay.
No, I knew about like assigning pictos and stuff. I did that by myself.
Okay.
Not like I didn't know that like it just like transitioned to everyone. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. That's a real. I mean, it's a great system.
I still have to look into it because I feel like I know what you're saying, but I don't know. I'm more of a visual person.
It's all the little purple things you pick. The little purple things you pick up. That's like the
yes, I know those.
something of So that's when you assign those to the characters because you go into the upgrade menu and you assign them. That's.
I didn't know they could level up.
I'm just gonna say this right now. The reason why Expedition 33 is so great is because the guy who made it, former Ubisoft dev, got fucking bored and wanted to make it, and he couldn't.
I know. I thought that's so funny. I think that's so funny.
Fantastic.
Didn't there was like only like 36 people make it too?
Mm-hmm. The soundtrack for this game is 8.5 hours long. I think
it's so good. I love the music in there.
So well done. I don't understand that French though, but god dang it,
I love that French. I started with it, but when it didn't match the mouth, I got annoyed.
Brad's like, what are they saying?
Mon ami, what's a mon ami?
I got that part. Everyone kept yelling the same word over and over, so I had to look that word up, and I'm like, that's a bad word.
Is
it? I think so.
Poutine.
Poutine. I was like, are they talking about cheese? What type of dessert is this? No, yeah, Expedition 33 is so popular that it's gonna get its own movie.
Honestly, I think that'll be a fucking great movie.
Yeah, no, I think like when I made that video, that spoiler video, and I'll just have that appear right in front of you. When I made that video, I was legit blown away by the way it walked like a fine balance. But I do want Brad to tell Chibi about the Persona fans being upset at this game. Brad, can you tell Chibi why?
Why? Why are they mad?
So I came across a meme thing, and it was like, I see all these Persona fans are mad at Expedition 33, and that they don't like Expedition 33, and the only reason why they don't is because they can't romance the teenage age schoolgirl. So
the fucking 16-year-old girl. Oh my god, stop! Are you for real?
They cannot date Mael. So.
Oh my god, they're fucking disgusting.
Unfortunate for them. But here's the thing. You know, we do like a mini review thing of it. Like, right? So my personal opinion on this is like there's small like issues with like platforming, but most of that stuff is optional.
Yeah, it's
right?
so small.
But the combat system, it's one of the most refreshing I've played. There's a game out there called Lost Odyssey. Chibi, you probably never heard of it. It's an Xbox 360 game. It was like an RPG that a lot of us who've played it, like me and Brad, we were like, this is fucking different. This is a lot different, and it requires you to be attentive during your turn. And that's essentially what this was.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, parry, jump, all that stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people who've played it, who like, when you finally get into like one of the bigger boss fights, you're like, let me get this straight. Why the fuck can he hit 7 times in a row?
Like, that's just so
when is
annoying.
it my turn, bro? Right?
Why? When?
But the way they treat it is, if you parry perfectly in a row, you will do an Expedition 33 like attack or like you do so much damage.
All out attack.
Yeah. So there's like this high risk, high reward, but the game's not like, oh, you have to do that. You can just dodge as well to get through the main campaign.
Yeah.
So
who the fuck does that? I parry everything. Let's go.
I'm just saying, like, listen, there gonna be some shit you're not gonna be able to fucking parry. Now.
Fair enough.
But I think like
the hard way.
The boss fights, the story, like my video is mainly about like the central theme of grief, which is like the entirety of the show. Brad's first message to me was like, "Hey man, play through the opening. Why is it so sad?"
Dude, that opening, I think hands down, like, I don't know. It like did something to me.
It's
stuff like that. I don't
No.
know. Even though I'm not like a big
Well,
fan of like
so I actually I
genre.
played the prologue twice. So
Mhm.
there is a missable side quest in the prologue.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I happened to read an article. It was like, "Hey, don't miss these things in the prologue." I was like, "Damn it,
Oh.
I missed these things in
Yeah,
the
I miss
prologue."
these things in the
So
prologue.
I went and watched it. Like I watched all the cutscenes again, and I was like, it made me so much more sad the second time because I understood what was happening. The first time I was
Oh
just like,
yeah.
"What the heck?" They don't explain anything. They're
Yeah,
just like,
if you're
"Oh,
not
she's here for."
if you're not
You're actually
actively walking around to determine like why the gamage happens, like I'm telling you, like
yeah
when you like you'll be able to piece together what's happening with Verso, right? We could just got him. You're gonna be able
yeah
to piece together what's happening with his character, but like the twist that happens there, dude, I'm telling you, when I got to like my make the video, I was like, I sat down, beat the game, and I went, what the fuck? And luckily, you can actually pick up like one of your saves, and then you
Mhm.
can get the other ending because there's multiple endings. And I was
Oh,
like, oh my god, that's even fucking worse, dude. Like
damn.
they don't like
Yeah.
the I kept like I said like my main argument in my video was when they bring up the theme of grief in this game, they do not relent at all. They don't like
Mm-mm.
pull
I mean, it's
punches.
raw.
They
Yeah.
don't pull punches. Like when they when they killed old boy, Chibi's like justice for Gustav. When they killed old boy, I was like, that was fucked up, man. And they did it in
I
such a brutal way too. Like
I genuinely did not think it was real. I thought it was like her dream or like a prophecy. And I was sitting there like, okay, when is she gonna wake up? I was like, I was literally like
I was like,
in
oh,
Discord, I was like, there ain't no way they did that. Colby's like, what? And Michael's like, don't say anything. And I'm like, there's no fucking way they are doing this to me right
they're gonna
now.
do like the
I
RPG
I
thing where like they
I
survive. It's
paused
like
it.
no.
I paused it, immediately Googled, can I sip Gustav? And
So
when I read no, I said, "Oh
I
my god."
so before we end this video, by the way, I told Brad that Gustav looks like Robert Pattinson.
He does.
And
The
Brad's
fuck?
like, I
That
don't
is Robert
Brad
Pattinson.
asked his wife. He's like, she said she didn't see it. And then I sent him the lighthouse. And I was like, dude, that's Robert Pattinson. That looks
Dude,
exactly
the
Fortnite.
the first fucking frame, I was like, "Is that my
because
dog
it
Robbie P?
because it's Charlie
Is that my
Cox,
dog
and I was
Robbie
like, we
P?"
couldn't make him look
it's
more like
Charlie
Charlie
Cox.
Cox
Yeah.
from Daredevil and shit. I was like, oh, we couldn't make him more look like that. That was messed up. But no, I
My
I I
dead
fucking
ass. I was like, I think that's what made it more sad for me. I love Robert Pattinson. Like, that is one of my favorite actors, always has been. And I'm just like,
it's
why you gotta do Gustav Robbie Patty like that?
it seriously is like my favorite game of the year. And now that
That is
GTA
I
so
knew
6
good.
is not coming out till May next year,
Until next
it's
year. Did you guys
I
see the trailer for it?
yo, what the fuck? Let's talk about that for a second before we end the
Yeah.
episode. I got time.
Sorry,
oh my God.
I just saw the trailer today and I was like,
So the first trailer, I was like, okay, this looks like it's going to be like a step forward for Rockstar. This second trailer, I was like, what have you guys been doing? Like, holy shit. So for those who don't know, when Rockstar makes videos, right, when they have their games, eventually they do a deep dive. They did it for Red Dead Redemption. They did it for GTA 4, GTA 5, RDR2. And basically what they do is like this huge deep dive into the engines. And the engine that makes these games run is called Euphoria. And I'm very curious to see what they're putting in GTA 6 because anyone who says that's not like game engine, you're full of shit. That is exactly how their games generally look. If you pull up 5 and 6 right now, that is a real graphical generational leap. Like, I am so shocked it looked like that. Also, I think I heard Stephen Root, who he was in Barry. He also played one of the characters in like Dodgeball and stuff like that. People who know Stephen Root is a fantastic actor. I think Bobby
Who's Steve
Monahan.
here?
I think I heard Bobby Monahan as well. Yeah, opposite. I was like, is that Bobby Monahan is like his best buddy and shit like that? But like, dude, literally, I was like, so some people are. So I kept seeing in the comments, I have to stay alive until this comes out.
now I have a reason to live.
I have
for
a reason to
another year. I
live,
was
and
like,
it's GTA. But I'm waiting for the deep dives. They're usually like 15 to 20 minutes long, and they pretty much just talk about the engine. And I know they're gonna flex because like, good lord, that game looks like it's. I don't think it's gonna run on PCs right now, dude. Like, there's no way it's gonna kill my
dude,
PC.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to fucking upgrade my new PC again. Like,
Not in this economy, bro. Like,
yeah,
like-
literally.
that.
Colby was like, "Are we gonna have to buy a PlayStation for this game?" I was like, "I guess so."
It's
Next
no,
year.
even on PlayStation Pro, which like runs a lot of games fantastically. I think it's like 30 frames per second, bro. Like there's
Mhm.
I don't see it running unless they're
Yeah.
like adding a
You have to
performance mode.
you have to buy the GTA 6 edition of the console to
Yeah, to run GTA
Basically,
6.
holy shit, man. But I'm like I think it's gonna be a more grounded GTA. I think. I think it's gonna be more like 4 than it is 5. Because 5 was like fucking out there and 4 felt like, you know, 4 was depressing.
So, fun fact, I've never played any of the GTA games.
All right, that would talk to you guys next time. So next time we won't have Chibi, we'll have Kobe sitting in that chair. Like
the only one you need to play is Vice City. So
I've
Yeah.
heard Vice City's good.
Okay.
It just never was my type of game. Like growing up, like I didn't play a lot of games other than like story-based
Well,
games,
GTA
and GTA was not
GTA
on my
5
radar.
is available, I think, on Game Pass.
fun
So
fact.
yeah, go ahead. I
San
swear.
Andreas.
Oh, okay,
So San
you said the
Andreas.
same shit.
I was too young to go to like GameStop. I think it was actually EB Games at the time. But
That's
I
a
went
deep
to
cut.
yeah, I went to EB Games to buy the game, and obviously I wasn't old enough to do it. So I convinced my mom. I was like, hey mom, there's like realistic like racing and like you can fly planes
Yeah,
and
don't worry
like
about the drugs
uh,
or gangs or
yeah,
anything.
I was like, I can like, clean up the streets from all the rival gangs, right? I was like, I convinced my mom that this was like some big simulator game that I could do a lot of different things in,
What's,
and that's how I got San Andreas.
How old were
I
you?
I was probably sixth grade, seventh grade,
Okay, yeah.
was gonna
so
say, Chibi,
14,
this is why we
13.
give you shit when we talk about certain games and stuff like that.
Learning, okay, I'm learning.
I done never played the GTA boys. Are they good? Chat, are we cooked?
Chat, are we cooked? Is it a good game? Am I gonna have to RP in these games?
That's how it's gonna be when we, like if we eventually go to war. Chat, are we cooked? As a fucking missile hits us and shit like
Chat,
that.
am I cooked?
Am I
Are we
cooked?
done?
Chat, is this a bomb?
Is that a bomb?
I
Can
have played.
I think
can someone fact check me?
It's really funny because I played all the GTAs, right? And
Mhm.
the evolution from like GTA 1 and 2, which was like a top down,
Mhm.
to
Oh, sure, really.
3D, which was GTA 3, was like this massive leap right when it came out in the PS2 and stuff like that. And then Vice City came out, and Vice City was really just like a more colorful GTA 3. Yeah, great story. And then 4 came out, and 4 was like a massive leap because the Euphoria engine got like really tweaked. It was so basically like it like really hardcore introduced like ragdoll stuff. Like the way they utilize physics in the GTA games, the most recent ones, is mind blowing. Just like Red Dead Redemption 2. Like everyone's like, why do these games take so long to come out? I'm like, dude, the details are insane. Like the way like fabric moves off a character, the way bullets like hitting a certain part of the body, that type of stuff. It's all really well done. Like
the horse testicles.
horse testicles shrinking and contracting and when it's cold and stuff like that. That is a real thing. Um
You're not selling
you
me
gotta
on
have
this.
your horse balls.
Not selling me on this.
But GTA like 5 was, really impressive. And here's how Rockstar flexed. When GTA 5 released, they had already announced that GTA Online was coming, right? It was going to be a big thing. But they said, hold on, we're not going to release GTA Online until you have a month with GTA 5. Because there was so much content. There's like hundreds and hundreds of hours of content and stuff like that, single player wise. When GTA Online first came out, me and my buddy Chris, we were like super hyped up. We like stayed up to play it, and I remember the servers crashed the first day because it's the best selling game like of all time. Like GTA 5 is constantly on the charts.
It's one of, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the only game to
Make $1 billion.
amass more than
And GTA 6 apparently costs like $2 billion to make. So unlike Ubisoft working on Sea of Thieves, no, not Sea of Thieves, my bad.
Skull
and Bones with 35 studios. Rockstar's like, fuck it, we'll just do it live. I don't know what to say. I'm waiting. I'm like I said, I'm gonna rewatch the trailer, but like I've seen people like they're freaking out because it's like, okay, what just happened? And it's honestly, I just believe it's like they hadn't released the trailer since like last year, or the year before. That's just how Rockstar rolls. Alrighty, shit.
It happens.
That's our episode for Down the Rabbit Hole, right? We talked about Samurai Champloo, we talked about other anime, talked about other things we were watching. Yo! Oh, that might be racist coming from you. Don't do that again.
Cancel Brad.
Cancel Brad.
Canceled.
Well, cancel
Brad.
Brad, and also
wasn't the
cancel
one that-
Jack. He
I wasn't
doesn't show up.
Canceled.
Hold on,
Canceled.
let me do Jack. Yeah, anime.
Oh
yeah,
shit!
yeah,
It's right here. It's,
yeah.
it's downstairs.
Yeah, anime. Jack will be doing the next Down the Rabbit Hole episode. I don't know what we're gonna do for Pixelated Thoughts. I thought we had like a movie or something lined up. I don't know. I wanted to discuss
Onimusha.
Oh, Onimusha, that's right. I'm gonna be super upset for that one. Let's get that one going.
Can you resend it in the group chat?
Yeah, it's on Netflix and stuff like that. We'll talk about it because I played all the games. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Let's yeah, anime. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you next time.